Good morning friends, I'm Kavita. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'll tell you something about electrolysis. What is electrolysis? We can see it's a process of decomposing an electrolyte into its constituents. We're going to use direct current for this process. This is the battery eliminator which converts AC into DC. The container which I'm going to use is called electrolytic cell, and it can be anything like beaker of this type. And it contains two electrodes which I can dip it into the electrolyte, which can be molten or aqueous. So this is my cell in which I have put two electrodes. Now I'll fill some electrolyte in it and I'll show it to you how it looks like. So it will be something like this, which is connected to the wires and can take help of crocodile clips for that. Electrode can be anything which is good conductor of electricity, something like this. Okay. So this is my electrode, graphite rods. We can use anything like platinum also. The reaction takes place on passing the current, and it would be an assembly somewhat like this. Let's take an example now. So here we have copper chloride. Now copper chloride is an electrolyte which, when dissolved in water, dissociates into copper 2+ cations and chloride anions. Alright, so what is a cation? Positively charged, and the anion is negatively charged. The cations are going to move towards cathode, which is a negatively charged electrode. The reaction is this way. Copper accepts 2 electrons because it is 2 positive and 2 electrons negative, so the charge neutralizes and the answer is copper, which is getting deposited at cathode. And that is in the solid state. And when we look at anode is a positively charged electrode, so all the negatively charged anions like chloride are going to migrate towards the anode. And so we get here 2 electrons at the anode, and chlorine gas is also liberated. So eventually, when we see what happens when we electrolyze copper chloride, we will see that it generates copper at the cathode and chlorine gas will be liberated at the anode. So that was electrolysis of CuCl2. Let's see the experiment, how it looks like when we go to the lab. Now for this experiment we require copper chloride, which is this way. Electrodes will be used, and we can connect the electrodes to the wires through this particular point, which this is the point you can show. This is the second one. Both are of same type, and we use water as the medium, and these are the wires with the crocodile clips which we can use sometimes to fix the electrodes. The electrolyte will be first dissolved in water and nicely we'll be mixing it. So here's the process going on. This is the rectifier, converts the AC into DC, and this is our assembly, which is looking this way. Crocodile clips are connected over there. I'm going to start this experiment. This is the cathode, that is your negatively charged electrode, and you can see the reaction has begun. I have just switched it on. The voltage is 4 volts I've applied, and this is your anode, and the chlorine gas is liberated. Due to oxidation of chloride, the chlorine gas gets liberated, and you can see the bubbles coming out at such a great speed over here. And I've dipped a paper over here which is blue litmus. You can see that turns red because the solution is acidic now. Chlorine mixes with water and gives you acid, HCl plus HOCl. It turns the paper from blue to red, and the next paper which I have taken is the starch paper. It has turned to blue color, and since this water is now going to act as a bleaching agent also, chlorine is a very good bleaching agent, you can see that the color of the paper has started turning to white. So just go on dipping it and you can see that. That looks so very fantastic. That's your bleaching action of hypochlorous acid, because chlorine, when it mixes with water, it gives you HOCl. And the reaction speed is so beautiful. You can see it's coming out nicely, and we can enjoy looking at that. So this is your chlorine gas coming out at anode. Now cathode is the same as it is. The deposition of copper is taking place over there. The reaction continues. At cathode the deposition takes place, and at anode the bubbles of chlorine gas are released out. So this is very simple. Metals will be deposited at cathode and the non-metals at anode. This is the cathode which I have removed now, and you can see the reddish brown color. Copper has got deposited very nicely over here. Just take a good look at it. You can scrape out this with a spatula, the copper, and if you just turn this rod, we can see how the reddish color copper is deposited. Just keep it down. So that's your copper. You can just see on this side also, and such beautiful covering has come. This is you can just roll it and see. That's the copper. With a spatula you can scrape it out, or you can just, I'll just show you how it looks like. So that's the copper. Copper has got deposited at cathode during the electrolysis of CuCl2. So that's all from this video. I hope you have enjoyed this and have understood what is the meaning of electrolysis of any electrolyte. So keep watching, and if you want to learn more and more, subscribe to this channel. Bye bye, thanks, take care.